This is the Benjamin Zulu Global. Welcome our viewers from all over the world to the home of the Heart Matters. We're converging to learn together because when you know better, you can do better. And a better life is what we all want. Better work life, better family life, better personal life.
Yes, and we are glad that you have joined us. My name is Willie Kinyash, and today we want to talk about habits that attract breakdown of a marriage. And marriage is a good thing, and marriage is between two mature people who are in agreement of doing life together. Question: if these two people are in agreement of doing life together, where are these breakdown coming from?
Yeah, and we tend to think after we marry we have arrived, and we don't see what can go wrong. One therapist asked in a couple session asking the lady why she's so cold, giving this man dry spell for months, and condescending, dismissing him when he's trying to express, and showing disregard. And referring to the same offense he had done back then as the reason.
But maybe this person has not yet healed.
Yes, and you cannot remain unhealed and you want to remain married. Those things are not possible. Those things are not possible. You want to hold on to grudges forever? Hold on to pain forever? Do not tether one person in a prison of marriage and having to babysit a grown-up ego for years. Your healing starts with you. I can support. You can support me in my healing, but you can't do it for me. And if I choose to remain wounded, that marriage can't work. This lady, when she was asked, how come? And because this guy said, out there she's very charming and happy. People think she's a very nice person.
Yeah.
But at home she's very cold and withdrawn.
But maybe it's the way this man treats her.
No, it was a reference to the same thing back then. A small thing, not small, painful, yes, but something there's no way you can continue holding a person hostage because of a mistake forever. And this therapist has seen this lady, don't you care that he will leave? And she says, we are Christians, we don't divorce.
Hey.
I don't believe in divorce. So there are people who marriage is a prison. Once they've gotten you there, they can treat you anyhow. That explains why they talk better to the world and worse to you. Why they're generous out there and stingy here. Why they treat outsiders faster, better than they'll treat you here. Why they talk nicely out there and nasty here. Why they attend people, ignore here. People, you can see what people think of marriages by how they behave once you get in. They were very charming and present during dating and all that. Once you arrive, they change. They assume now they got you. Where can you do? What can you do? Human nature has a tendency not to fear the consequences when they don't seem likely to happen, when they are not anywhere close. When you write wet paint, don't touch. They usually think if I touch, what will happen? So they actually touch.
Yes.
Human psychology is very funny. It's where they are peeing. It's written here, don't pee here. And that's what they're doing.
Yes.
It's like a label, now you should. Human nature has some contradictions you need to be careful with. And you need to watch who you're dealing with. Be careful. One psychological principle with people is they only behave when they know the consequences are possible and visceral. And that's why I told you, you don't want to predict divorce for your marriage. But never let your partner think you can't go anywhere.
Okay.
You don't keep saying it. You don't actually have to threaten people.
Yes.
But neither should you appear to be caged. If you appear caged, they will assume you. They will no longer treasure you. It's our natural makeup not to treasure what we can't lose. In fact, one dentist used that principle. Told me, because don't imagine losing our teeth, we don't take care of them. We do minimal. In fact, many people don't brush for the teeth to remain longer. They brush so they don't smell and get rejected.
True.
The consequences of smelling bad and getting rejected are more present,
yes,
than losing.
I agree. And that is why a big number will not brush when they are going to sleep.
Because nobody will see them. They're not thinking of bacteria.
Yes.
They're not thinking of cavity.
Yes.
They're not thinking of height. That one is directly, but because it's not immediate. Is it like, are you sure? Is it only today? No.
Yeah.
We tend to bargain on consequences. And the Bible is funny. It mentioned that. When the punishment for sin is not implemented immediately, the heart of people is inclined to do that sin. When you are gracious and patient like God is, and He takes His time hoping that you will not waste all the time He's giving you. Now, people got to assume that grace to mean, it's a lie, nothing will ever happen. We have a tendency to want to know what can go wrong, what can happen. And many people, is after they have tasted the possibility of losing you. Unfortunately, people value you when they have lost you or come close to losing you. You don't have to induce chaos. You don't have to start problems in a marriage or anything. But there should be a subliminal message that we are not prisoners. In our conversations, we should validate that position. That if it's no longer working, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
If it's a source of stress, it's not worth it. And if it will make you bitter with life, enduring at home just as much as you are enduring in the world, struggling out there as you are struggling inside here, it's not worth it. We should affirm that, validate that, repeat that until it is in our head. That a marriage that does not honor my personhood, does not approve, confirm what I want to be in life, is not worth it. That does not lift the burdens of life, is not worth it. Keep that in mind. And even as we list the things that happen, you ask me why they're happening inside marriage. It's because we tend to assume, once I have you, I have you. I'm done. Do not behead. Don't see marriage like you came like this and you settled. We settled. Don't settle. You come together, you join, and you start journeying. You don't start spending years. We have 20 years experience. We have 3 years experience. They cannot be 20 years experience because there's no year that was like another one. This is a journey. This is a travel.
Yeah.
Every stretch is different.
Yeah.
You may say you have traveled together for 20 years. That's more accurate
Yeah.
than saying it's a cyclic years of experience. No, we are traveling. This person is changing after every birthday. New values are emerging. New you is emerging. New terrain in life. New joys, new passions, new opportunity, new. If you look back on your marriage, however long it is, there is no year that repeated itself. You can, when you see a photo, tell them, yeah, that was our 5th year. I remember that time, this was the mood.
Yes.
This is where we were. Anytime you have an anniversary, you can remember what was going on at that time. The first sign that the marriage is ended is headed to the end. And let me also surprise you that the mistakes we are saying today, we are warning people because they don't think they're fatal. We are giving you fatal signs. The moment you tolerate them, you have started the end. You may think you're just assuming this person. And the first one is stonewalling. It's very commonly out here known as cold treatment. Remember, we are talking about the marriage breaking down. Some marriages break down and people don't work out because working out is another decision that it involves many other factors. The personal strength, the willpower, ability to adjust and build another life. Some people don't live because they can't build another life. They just don't have the stamina to start afresh. But the marriage breaks down totally and they remain together, sleeping in different bedrooms, living parallel lives. And they are officially enemies. They can't have a harmonious conversation. Everything has since broken down. They're not friends, they're not anything. And that's why they call each other after the children. Baba Kim, Mama Kim. Don't call your wife by that name. Before you got Kim, who was she to you? Maintain that.
But the others who will call them daddy, mommy.
That's another pathology. If I start calling my wife mommy, she will go looking for one who calls her sweetie. Because she doesn't get the sweetie energy from me. She's getting the same from me and other boys and other children in that house.
Yes.
If anybody calls her the sincerely endearing name, it will feel new.
Yeah.
Give your wife what she can't get anywhere else. From your children, children call her that.
Mm-hmm.
The other women in the chama call her the same. Mama Kim.
Mm-hmm.
So why would you, who should be special, calling her
Call her
also?
by the same name she's being called by the mothers out there.
There should be something unique between you. People were ashamed of romance. In patriarchal society, women were not supposed to be loved, they're supposed to be used.
Mm-hmm.
So they were not using endearing names. It is in the current, we are actually attaining freedom to love in Africa, very late in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Do not go back to that time. Call your woman by the dear names. You are unique to her.
Mm-hmm.
The cold treatment you're hearing, so we have said if I'm being called daddy by my children and also by my wife, the problem is I'm getting the vibe of being daddy from the person. I should have gotten the vibe of being dear, sweetheart. And that hunger will remain unfulfilled. Words and terms represent energy. They're not just words, isn't it?
Yes.
The word you use on me passes something,
They create something.
a state of mind. So stonewalling is when you block me and act like I don't exist for a period of time. Really, until you die, you shall not stonewall your wife. Even when you're not in talking terms, even when you have disagreed, you're married. She can get an emergency. Life does not care. One lady stonewalled, it was a boyfriend, for 3 days, only to see the announcement of funeral.
Yeah. And you're wondering, where have I been?
She blocked him, and now she's seeing announcement of
What happened?
he got an accident.
Oh no.
You stonewall your loved one.
What?
You may never see them in this world again. Even when we are not talking, I should know I can reach to you when I need a situation. Anybody stonewalling you, blocking you on their phone, shutting you out, should not be your loved one. You're misplaced. Stonewalling is for enemies, not for mates.
Yes.
Cold treatment is for enemies, not mates. And does not mean I must continue talking that even when you have hurt me repeatedly and you are not hearing what I'm saying, that I can't. No, there are times we are not in talking terms. But even then, stonewalling is different. Stonewalling is emotional blockade. It's cold shutout. Looking away. I don't care whether you die or you survive. You hear women say, he abandoned me in the maternity ward and disappeared. He was not there for. And then when you woke up, you still went back to him. When people stonewall you, when people abandon you in a cold fashion, they are communicating something. They don't care whether you live or die. Shall not tolerate that person at all. They don't have the capacity for love. Love requires consistency and maturity.
Yes.
Love requires you to be available. Even when there's stress and tension between us, I know very well, should I encounter a problem, you can help me. Once you get married, you realize life starts moving away in many departments. You see your relationship, your marriage, your family is not just between you and your wife now. We have many other parallels going on.
Yes.
You participate in many other groups. And maybe they are not getting her, they needed to communicate to you so that you can communicate to her. A friend of yours you do business with because you own a show, he could not get you. He communicates with the wife. Right now you have other things. Business is friends, children, school, business, money, things. How many parallel lines in your marriage are going on? What if somebody were to blockade you? How will that marriage function?
It will not.
It will not.
Yes.
When you marry, we call it biosphere. What you create, we can call it a sphere, a biosphere, where it's like now all your life is contained there. All your money life, all your emotional life, all your friends' life, social life, economic life, it's contained there. And we're the key players. Communication, therefore, is multifaceted. Remember the rule, the philosopher told you that there's nothing simple in life. It only appears simple. Your body may appear simple, but you're aware that it's billions and trillions of cells communicating back and forth. And the cells are different depending on where they're located. And the coordinator is one. The same coordinator who is coordinating the cells is the one you're using to think. Is the one using to store memory, to imagine the future. There's so much going on in your body and there's so much going on in your biosphere, your marriage. There's so much terrain changing, shifts and feelings. That's one reason you don't stay many hours. Every break, talk with your partner, see how they're processing in the biosphere. What has come up? Is there tension? Do you know the more you talk freely with your partner, the more you counter problems before they balloon?
True.
Out of proportion? Maybe something has happened that you can counter quickly. Imagine a relative who has placed a request for loan. They are aware you have money.
Yeah.
Some people are quite aware.
Yes. Yeah.
We know you sold land.
Yes.
And they are informed, reliably informed, that it was quite some 2.5 million.
Yes.
Now they're asking for only 10,000. Last week,
Yes.
they helped to witness the sale.
Yes.
2.5 million.
Yeah.
And now they have come through your wife to ask for
10,000.
And she needs to consult with you how to handle that matter. She can see this as sly. This is just advantage.
Yeah.
Somebody taking advantage and faking.
Mm.
But now you have stonewalled her. How will she handle that situation?
She'll all be alone.
And then this is a relative she cannot handle. Relative on her side.
Yeah.
Imagine a brother of ours, for example, who knows.
You have money.
Could even be an older brother. You know these older relatives?
Yes.
These older uncles, very entitled. And he has come up, I need 100,000 tomorrow go for my checkup.
My daughter.
So the only safe way is to collaborate with Willie.
Yes.
So that Willie is a safe place to quote.
Yeah.
Just tell him my husband had already deposited in something else we need to buy. And you get to avoid the trap.
Yes.
For thinking together. But if you disappear, that becomes a mess. Because some of these people, their thinking level. Let me remind you, many people remain financially stagnant because of their financial manners, their mismanagement. Why they keep reacting to emergencies that they never plan for future emergencies. Okay? Why do you get insurance? To plan for future emergency. Why do you insure? Get so that if an emergency comes, you have contracted a guy to step in for you.
Yeah.
But do poor people have insurance? It's not because they can't afford it, because they don't value it.
Yes, they don't value it.
Yes. And now you're supposed to be their insurance. You are sound enough to keep aside some 50K, because you know the car can ask for 20,000 without notice.
Yes.
You have arranged your life in such a way that there's a place you can get 20,000
Yes.
without making it a crisis for everyone. Texting the other, my car got stuck now. This even sending photos. When somebody sending you photos of their car, ask you for, you know. By the time you purchased a car, you anticipated some things, isn't it?
Yeah.
But they mismanage constantly, and they can't admit their irresponsibility. They may be borrowing money from you guys the same way they've been borrowing from everyone. Anytime they hear anybody has money, they create situations that look real, but they are foreseeable. And we are not denying that there are times when people need the help of friends.
But could it be that some people are living a lifestyle they cannot be able to maintain?
That is also possible. There are people who live beyond their means and they can't admit it. You know? And we'll come to that. When sometimes people, a ceremony comes, a Valentine comes, and they want you to splash them a particular way because of what they think they are worth, and it's something they can't afford on their own. So, stonewalling is a fatal sign. When a person has a tendency to disappear on you, don't marry them. Don't build with them. You will be left on your own during the battles of life, and you will die. You may underestimate it, but it's a fatal sign. If you have that habit, some of us will pick the habit thinking it's a normal way of fighting because our parents would fight that way. They disagree and they're not talking. And you think that's normal. Unlearn it. The second one is contempt. Contempt is when a person keeps discarding you, devaluing you before people, before yourself. And one lady saying, we don't have big problems, just small issues here and there. Whenever you hear that, be careful.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be running into a professional sounding so worked up, but it's only minor.
Small issues.
And then she tells you the guy has a tendency of removing her clothes from the wardrobes, throwing them out and saying, this is my house, go out.
And you call that a small issue?
A small issue. Contempt. Anytime a person discards you, devalues you, tells you are not important, they may not sound violent, but that discarding you, shaming you before the nanny, before the children. But when you tell society, they ask you, did he beat you up?
No.
Did he cheat? So society, there are two words they don't value. And yet they're very critical. Respect. Respect. The larger family, those mediation group sittings don't know that word. And they don't know the word happiness.
Yeah.
They don't value those two. You shall anchor your marriage on those two. Respect for each other. We live happily. That's all. Society values children, appear many years, about society, the marriage about longevity. You can't give away 10 years of marriage just because of something you're calling happiness. For them, it's about longevity. For you, it's about growth. We were growing, we were marrying so that we were coming together to grow together, coming together to self-actualize, coming together to expand, coming together to build each other. We are coming to build, to advance. Let that be the reason you get married.
Yeah.
Not any other. Not 50 years. We are clocking 50. When you clock, be happy.
Yes.
But you could have clocked even without.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yes.
The passage of time, you know, the poverty-minded, the way we call our veggies, sukuma wiki, push the weak. The poverty-minded in Africa of enduring, persevering. Marriage should flow. The right marriage should flow. Should enhance your dreams, your laughter, and your happiness. The right marriage is when you long to go home to just relax. When you are tired or when you are excited, when you know home is, that's where you want to go.
Yeah.
It's a place you can get in and relax.
Be yourself.
And just lock yourself there, do your things there, mind your business. And the day that has no business, you can happily stay indoors the whole day and you're very happy.
Yes.
That should be home. You know, we have to describe home, which seems like should be obvious.
Yeah, yeah.
What we have been having has not been home. It has been emotional prisons. That home that is quiet, peaceful, full of laughter. And you remember our slogan. We're describing the homes we want. You said we don't want a home where there's banging of doors and shattering of glass and screams and shouting. We don't want a home where there's calling of names and periods of coldness and hostility and dark, dull faces and stern faces. That's not a home for us. We want a home where people cook together in kitchen and sing songs and, you know, dance here and enjoy each other there, toast here and play there, tell stories here, lie, fall asleep on the seat here. We want that. That's what we want. And when we come together, we're trying to describe make sure people describe the idea they have of marriage. Otherwise, you get in marriage with them and they turn it to World War II. After battle, battle after battle, battle. And when you are not fighting, they don't feel alive. We still have people who say when they're not being beaten up, they don't believe they are loved. There are women who unconsciously bring chaos so that you can beat them up. So they can feel attention to them is slaps. We saw them in the university. We thought it is an illiterate problem.
Is that normal?
The mental conditioning, even FGM. The women who believe if they have not been cut, if they have not been mutilated, they're not woman enough. They may be in the university, but they were trained by people who had been conditioned to remove the sexual functioning of the woman, to enjoy pleasure and all that, to just be a living sexual tool robot for the man. To just sire children and just be nothing. There are communities that have conditioned the people that way. There are men who think if he is vulnerable and discusses with a woman, he is being weak. Remember books like The River Between, where you would find The River and the Source. I think it was The River and the Source.
The River and the Source, yes.
You would find that the man who was more connected with his wife and they would talk and plan lives and hope in his heart, he was regarded as weak because he's team working with his wife. There are people who are coming from that community where When you are real and friendly and companion with your wife, it seems like you're weak. Always check what a person's idea of marriage is. Don't just go to marriage. Don't just get married. Don't just say, I love them, we like each other. Check their idea. There's another day we talked about people who are, yes, spiritual and principled, stable, they don't have drama. But what is wrong with them? It's so glaring yet so invisible.
Yeah.
They are not driven. Just that.
They're just there.
And they have marked time over years. But because society, again, don't value growth, advancement. The things that change your life to eternity can never be endorsed by the larger society because they involve pain. They involve sacrifices. They involve being real. But then they wanted groupthink, comfort.
Yeah.
They're looking for consensus and comfort. When you find a person who treats you with contempt, condescending behavior, talks down at you, and contempt can be rolling eyes. Really, the day you and your wife are rolling eyes, there's nothing there. Counselors can tell you. There are signs we see early on, and you know, this is a gone case.
Yeah.
By the time you cross some lines, or I talk to you and you start whistling, you know, I find you, I'm trying to talk to you and you start. Or instead of communicating to me that I annoyed you, you start singing violent songs. You know? You start humming a violent song. Songs that involve words like, I can kill somebody.
Or some songs that they are showing like some men are not mature.
You look, that kind of condescension, that kind of behavior. You even go to crack jokes and post things on your profile and status, hitting at me in such a condescending way. There's no point. There's no point. And the last one, so we say there's stonewalling, there's contempt. The other one is criticism. Criticism is attacking verbally without caring how much you injure them. Now, whenever you fire at people, because you want to hurt them, some people don't fire with a gun, they fire with their mouth. They fire with words. And anytime they break you down, and they want to come around and say, okay, I'm sorry then. After breaking you down and you're bleeding for so many days, you're trying, you're confused. Imagine a woman asking you, what kind of man are you? That may sound simple. But it will make you so damaged.
Yeah.
That even if you try to make love to her, your body won't respond. Some people don't have erectile dysfunction. It's the things they were taught. Words. Yes. Somebody can break you down until, and although the word forgiveness has been overpreached, some things are not just to be forgiven, they're blasphemous. They reveal an attitude that you should not sit through. And for you to sit through that kind of attitude, you are affirming, you are validating, you are confirming that you deserve to be abused. Some things are so violating, and we're not saying, oh, we'll be unforgiving, we'll be this rigid. No. We are saying sometimes watch between a mistake and an intentional attempt to hurt you, break you down, damage you. Criticism is when a person does not just correct you, they attack you, they call you words, they call you vulgar things, or they put you down. They when you make a mistake, instead of them trying to make you better, you always do this. You can't even, the kind of criticism that is sharp and cutting. They're aiming at damaging your self-esteem. They feel threatened by your health, by happiness. They're trying to take away your joy and your confidence. That cannot be a partner. That's an enemy. And eventually that marriage will break down. That connection will break down. Yes.
Wow. Thank you so much. Doesn't that sound like a full-time job? So marriage is work. And so marriage works, but for it to work, you must work for it. Remember, God is the author of marriage. And so people out there who could be saying that marriages are scams, are you trying to say that God is a scam? He is not. And so work out that marriage and you will enjoy it. Thank you so much. My name is Willie Kinyash.
This is the Benjamin Zulu Global. Welcome our viewers from all over the world to the home of the Heart Matters. We're converging to learn together because when you know better, you can do better. And a better life is what we all want. Better work life,